As part of the preparations of the third Africa-Arab Summit that is scheduled to take place during the 19th of this month, the Arab and African foreign ministers held a meeting this morning. The meeting discussed the agenda of the summit as well as the recommendations of the preparatory meetings of the senior officials. Heba Abdurrahman has more in the following report.
This morning, the agenda of the opening session included a welcoming speech by Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Sheikh Sabah Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Sabah, followed by a speech by the Libyan Foreign Minister Mohammed Abdelaziz as the former chair of the Second Africa-Arab Summit. Foreign Minister of Gabon Emmanuel Issouz Nougadid then addressed the meeting since his country was the co-chair of the Second Africa-Arab Summit.
And we raised all these resolutions and declaration to the meetings of the ministers, which is started already today. So we are very, very optimistic. And
the participants then started a closed-door session to be co-chaired by Kuwait's Foreign Minister and Deputy Chair of the Executive Bureau of the African Union, Ahmed Ould Tigoudi, where they approved the agenda and the work plan and discussed and ratified the report and recommendations submitted by the senior officials, which include the report of the joint activities of the Chairman of the AUC and the Arab League Secretary General, as well as proposed measures to bolster foundational capacity to implement the joint work plan between the two sides in 2011-2016.
The main purpose now is to make the Arab-African cooperation leads to real changes and economic and developmental renaissance. There are many projects in all fields. For example, Arab ministers of agriculture have proposed some suggestions. What matter in the intention, I think that the serious efforts exerted by Kuwait in the summit and the preparatory meetings indicate that this summit will succeed.
The meeting's agenda also included a proposal on rationalizing mechanisms of implementing and following up the joint Arab-African partnership, in addition to the second meeting of African and Arab ministers of agriculture and food security that was held in Riyadh last October the 2nd. It also tackled a proposal on cooperation between the two sides in the field of immigration, another on the performance of the Arab African Cultural Institute, as well as another on the establishment of the Arab-Africa mechanisms to finance joint projects and activities. The meeting also looked into recommendations and results of the Arab-Africa Forum that was held here on November 11th, as well as discussing Kuwait Declaration and a statement on Palestine and resolutions presented by Kuwait, AUC, and the Arab League. The second session of the meeting was co-chaired by Kuwait's Foreign Minister, Mauritanian Minister of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation, and Deputy Chairman of the AUC's Executive Council. The conference also discussed the agenda and work program of the Third Africa-Arab Summit, followed by emerging issues. Today's ministerial meeting, which is held ahead of the Third Africa-Arab Summit due to take place in Kuwait from 19th to 20th of this month, discussed the recommendations that were raised after the previous meetings of the senior officials and will raise their final recommendations to their Majesties, Highnesses and the leaders of the participant countries. From Sheraton Hotel, this is Heba Abdurrahman reporting for the English News.